Hello, scholars. This is Miss Johnson from Uplift Hampton. I'm here to talk to all fourth graders and give you a writing lesson on today. So you should have your pen and paper. We're going to just go ahead and get started. Today, I would like for you to label your notes Homophones 2. We talked about homophones before in class, and then we reviewed on Tuesday. So this would be our second review of homophones. And today we're going to talk about some words that can just get a little tricky. Again, a homophone is a word that has the same sound, but it has a different meaning and possibly a different spelling. So they can be really tricky when it comes to writing. And sometimes it's hard for you to remember which word goes where because they sound exactly alike. So words like a and an, two, and two, I and me are similar. No and no, than and then, where, we're, and were. We are going to specifically talk about a and, two, and two, than and then, and where, we're, and were. If we know the rules and we practice them, then we can use these words correctly every time, and that's the goal. Ready? Let's get started. We're going to start off with a or an. So on your paper, I would like for you to just go ahead and write. And we are going to just separate them like this. I want you to write a on one side and an on the other side. And then we can kind of squiggly line in the middle. We are comparing a and an right now. I would like for you to go ahead and write the definition. If we are talking about a, we use it before a noun that begins with a consonant. So that word consonant is very important. And we need to know what a consonant is. Okay? Consonant is any letter in the alphabet that is not a vowel. So we know the vowels are specific. And if it does not begin with a vowel, it begins with a consonant. So anytime that you have a noun that starts with a consonant, you will use the word a in front of it. And we'll give some examples in a moment. But let's go ahead and write the definition for an, or not the definition, but just the rule for when we use an is when we are it's before a noun that begins with a vowel. Okay, quick review. We need to know what those vowels are. So I would like for you to just draw a little arrow and we're going to list the vowels. We have A, E, I, O, U. Sometimes they say sometimes Y, but just for this rule, we do not use an in front of a Y noun, so we're just going to use it like this. Okay, let's go ahead and do some practice sentences so we can kind of get better of a feel of what we're going to do. In the bottom left corner, you can see that the vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, and the consonants are all the other letters in the alphabet. Okay, let's go ahead and write our examples. If the sentence is, I saw an elephant, or an elephant, we're trying to figure out which one of these would we use when the noun is elephant. So is the noun beginning with a consonant? Or is that noun beginning with a vowel? The noun begins with an E, which is a vowel, which means that we would use an for that sentence. So here, if the sentence was, I saw an elephant, it would need to use the word an. See? So because this E here is a vowel, we use an. If the sentence was changed a little bit to say, I saw a bear, the B there is a consonant. It is not a vowel, and therefore we would just use the article a instead of an. Okay? Now for our next pair of homophones, we actually have triplets, 2, 2, and 2. So what I would like for you to do on your paper is number on the side. So we're going to break this up into 3 sections. So you can just maybe count 1, 2, 3, 4, about 4 or 5 lines. and kind of do a squiggly going across. So that it looks something like this. And then we're going to just write 2, 2, and 2. So in the first one, I want you to write 2 T-O. Then I want 2 T-O-O. And the last one, T-W-O. Okay? Then we're going to go ahead and write the definition for each of these and like to tell us when we use it. For the first one, 2, we use it after a verb indicating a direction or intention, like going to the store. Okay, notice how I did not write all the way across because we want to save room for our sentence examples here. Okay, for 2 T-O-O, it is the same as also. So it means also. Like, I want to go to the store too. Like you also want to go. Or it could mean if there is an excess of something, like you have extra something. I think it's excess. Like if you have an excess of something, like you are playing too much, that would be T-O-O. And then the last one you all know very, very well is the number 2. Okay? Now we'll have some sentence examples. For this first word, to T-O, we normally use it after a verb. So this is super important. I want you to underline it. We use it after a verb. For example, we went to the store. Went is the verb, and then to is used immediately after. So I do want you to write, we went to the store. You do not have to write all of the sentences, but I do want just that one there. And then we're ready for the next one. Okay, this next use of 2 T-O-O again is like means also or excess. So I want you to underline also or excess if you have extra or something. So for example, can Susan come too? Like, can she come also? Or Timothy served himself too much. It was too much for him to eat. Or there were too many flowers. I would like for you to write, can Susan come also? I'm sorry, I meant to say, can Susan come too? Even though too does mean also, they are synonyms. Okay, and the last one, the number 2, is of course the number word. So, Matthew ate 2 slices. 2 birds sat on a branch. The sandwich was cut in 2. So you can go ahead and write Matthew ate 2 slices there. And these are just using it as a number. Okay, please remember at any time if I'm going too fast to pause the video so that you can catch up on your notes. And you should have a perfect page of homophones with a and then 2, 2, and 2. What I would like for you to do now is your pop question. So I'm going to show you 4 sentences and they are going to be using 2, 2, and 2. I want you to rewrite those sentences and then circle the correct form of 2 that you should use in each sentence. Send a picture of it to me on Class Dojo and that will count as your pop question for writing today. Here are your pop questions. Just be sure to rewrite these sentences with the correct homophone for 2 and then send me a picture. Okay, next we will talk about the homophones then and than. So again, at the bottom of your paper, I would like for you to split in half and write then, T-H-E-N on one side, and than, T-H-A-N on the other side. Squiggly down the middle, you have then and than. Okay, we're going to start by writing the definition or the rule for when to use each of them. We are going to use then, T-H-E-N, when we are indicating sequence or order. So here, I just want you to write sequence or order. Then we use than, THAN, when we are comparing something. So I would like for you to write compare. One is to sequence, the other is to compare. They are very easily to get confused because they sound very similar, but we are going to use these rules to be sure that we understand the difference. For the first one, then. I brushed my teeth and then, THEN, I flossed. I want you to go ahead and write that example here. And this should be then, THEN. Because we're talking about order. Brush your teeth first, and then after that, you flossed. Okay, for the other example sentence, he is taller blank than her. He's taller than her. That is comparing their height. He is taller than her. You also use than like in math when you're talking about greater than or less than. It is also a comparison. So you are comparing those two numbers. So that should kind of help you remember when to use which one. As an independent practice, I do want you to write your own sentence here using then, showing order or sequence, and your own sentence here using than to compare. So you should have your example sentence and then your own sentence. So pause the video now. Okay, our last homophone set for today are where, and were. So just like we did for 2, 2, and 2, I would like for you to just use about half the page, about 5 lines each to kind of section your papers. So maybe about 4 or 5 lines. We're just gonna kind of go like that. Then I would like for you to put where, the contraction, you guys know contractions, and were. And we're going to talk about each of those so that we know when to properly use those in our writing. The first one, where, is simple. We use it when we are talking about direction. So this is a direction word. Like, where can I find a dictionary? Or where is the nearest dollar store? This next one, where, is a contraction. It is the contraction for we are. So it's like the shortened version, contraction for we are. What that means is anytime that you see we're in your writing, you should be able to substitute it for the words we are, and that sentence still makes sense. This last one, were, is a little bit different. We may not have as much use of or as much practice with this word were, but it is a linking verb, which means it links the subject and the verb together. Like we were dancing or we were at school. Like we were doing something, but maybe we're currently not doing it anymore. Let's see some examples. For where, of course it is a direction word. We could use it as where are you going? Or do you know where the sugar is? Or where does Adriana go to school? Go ahead and write that sentence. Where are we going for your example for where? Okay, I would like for you to complete a sentence here for we're, the contraction, and a sentence here for were as a linking verb. Now, let's review. Pause the video to read this. Johnson out.